And welcome back to the PouncerAI Freelancer Education Series. I am Jerod Morris here with PouncerAI founder and CEO Sean Jackson. In our first episode, we talked about some common mistakes that new people make when they get on to Upwork. So make sure that you check that out, the first part in our beginner series. Here in lesson number 2, we're going to talk about mastering the art of Upwork proposals. And Sean, this is something that you know a lot about because, it's kind of like the Men's Warehouse guy, right? You used Upwork, you help build your business doing Upwork. And so you've learned a lot about how to create good proposals, which all went into creating this tool that you have in terms of Pouncer. And so let's just start right from the top. What is the first thing that clients look for in a proposal that the folks watching this video need to understand?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm going to share with you that what they don't want to see is the word hi there or hello. Okay. This is not a correspondence that we are trying to come across. We are trying to stand out from the competition. I think really, when you're really thinking about it from the client's perspective, let's set this back up. Clients will get tens, if not over 100 cover letters and freelancers applying for a job. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's bots doing that. Actually, it's not. There are 14 million freelancers on Upwork. If just 10% of them, 1.4 million, are on at any one time, they're looking for those jobs. Okay. So it is not inconceivable that the moment you post something, somebody's replying back very quickly because the universe is so big. So from a client's perspective, you're really trying to help them, pick somebody. And the best way to do that is beyond just your profile basics. And I'm going to show that in a second, but actually the first couple of lines in your cover letter really have to stand out. They have to pop. They have to get their attention. So let me show you what a client is actually seeing when you submit those cover letters out there. And so this is actually the view that I have for a job that I posted up for a graphic designer. Now, obviously, each profile will be slightly different. They're going to have different images, different names, different titles, different skills, etc. And then, of course, we have the cover letter area over here. Now, as I'm scrolling through this, as I'm looking at all this information, there's a lot of information on the screen. What are some of the things that stand out? Well, I'm going to point out this one because I think this is a great example of one that actually stands out, that has a hook. This is why I said the first couple of sentences in your cover letter really, really matter, because you want them to stand out. And if you look at the screen right here, you'll notice that this cover letter by far stands out from everyone else. First off, it doesn't start with hello there. It starts with Daniel and Sean, which if you look at our client account, we clearly reference that it's Daniel and Sean. So this person actually took the time to stand out and say, I'm going to address you by your name. I have reviewed your website and attachments. Notice how they're using bold there. Now, a lot of people may be wondering, how do you do bold? It's called Unicode. And I'll show you how we did that in PouncerAI, but it's a very easy way to make your cover letter stand out. And then, of course, they're addressing exactly what we asked for. In the details of our job description, we said, here's what we're looking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom, first sentence got my attention. So now I am clearly engaged enough to view more, okay? Simply because this one really stood out of all the ones that I saw out there. Now, if we look at some of these, some have taken the time to say, oh, hi, Daniel. But I'm not Daniel, obviously. So they saw one name, but they didn't put any other out there. And then a lot of times they go into the I format. I can do this. I am awesome. I am wonderful. And to be fair, that's not necessarily what a client is looking for. A client is looking for a solution. So when you actually come into a cover letter, this is where we're seeing the cover letter right here, right? We're coming in and we're actually seeing the details of it. And again, this is kind of one that I'm like, I don't want to see your portfolio. This is the I approach that I kept on talking about. What I want to know is what you can do for me. And so what I'm reading and what I want to look at is, hello, Sean and Daniel. Hey, I can do your project. Here's exactly the information you need. And then here's more about me. So I think when we start looking at the differences in cover letters, what you're really thinking of is first, Can I stand out? And I think this person absolutely did a great job of standing out, because it's just a great example of putting information that I can easily skim and digest and wants me to read more. Now, you may be asking, okay, well, how do I do something like that? Well, we do that using PouncerAI. But before I go into that, Jerod, I mean, as a copywriter, which is one of your strengths, what do you think about how does your take on those first couple of sentences?
So, I wanted to underscore the psychology of what's happening here, because I think what you see with a lot of people who are on Upwork, and you kind of hinted at this, is they will write proposals, write cover letters based on what they want to get out of it and what they can offer, instead of flipping it around and thinking about it from the client perspective. Empathizing with the client. What is the client going to want to see? The client wants to know that you're going to be focused on them. The client wants to know that you can empathize, follow whatever simple instructions might be there explicitly or implicitly, and that you're going to pay attention to detail. And so when you see a proposal that has both of the names, that is focused on the problem that you're looking to solve, that does little things like bolding, the little details that are going to stand out, all of those are little subtle psychological indicators that this is someone that I need to think about for this job, as opposed to the sea of people who are thinking it more from their perspective instead of the client perspective. And that is such an important part. Empathize with the person that your message is going to. Don't just think about it from your own perspective. And, again, and we'll get into how the tools can help you do that, but there is no tool that is going to help you empathize and create an empathetic pitch or proposal if you're not thinking about it from that perspective. So that mindset is so important to stand out and let a client know, hey, this is someone that I need to pay attention to.
Exactly right. Exactly right. In fact, in that particular job, one of the people that we were working with actually started out their sentence with, I am so excited about your concept, and I have some ways that I think I can help improve it for you. I'm totally going to have to read that. I have to, because they express enthusiasm. And that's, by the way, one of the subtleties, I think, when you're trying to figure out a hook for someone. One of the hooks are just saying, I love your idea and I want to be a part of it. Because so often, you don't get that affirmation on the client side that what you're working on is of any interest, of any value. And then having someone else outside give you that, even though it's in a sales environment, it does get your attention.
Yeah, and let me add this, whether you're using a tool or whether you're copy pasting and doing things manually, right? You can make it seem like you are tailoring every proposal to a specific person or not, or just doing copy paste. I'm doing the same thing for everybody. A client doesn't want to feel like one of many. A client wants to feel like one of one. So what can you do to show them that you really understand what the project is and what they're asking for? And so you can use a tool like Pouncer that's going to make you more efficient to actually be able to do that quicker. It doesn't mean every client is getting the exact same proposal. Just like someone who doesn't use it but is just lazy might just copy paste the same thing in manually. It's not the tool. Right. The tool can make you more efficient. The tool can't give you empathy. And you've got to think about it from that perspective if you want to write a proposal that lands.
Absolutely. When we actually get into Pouncer itself, when we actually look at what we've created up, one of the things that we wanted to spend some time on is this concept of templates, because there really isn't a one size fits all, kind of cover letter to, even though a lot of freelancers make the huge mistake of just kind of copying and pasting something generic and maybe tweaking one line, which is terrible, by the way, because clients can sniff that out pretty quickly. Or they use something like ChatGPT, but ChatGPT writing the whole thing doesn't really take the right approach in many reasons, predominantly because you're asking it to address a whole bunch of different things. So what we did with Pouncer in this template concept, and I'll just go into an advanced view to kind of break it down, is that we realized that ChatGPT can help you if you give it the right direction. So one of the directions that we came up with is really focusing on those first two lines and just letting ChatGPT take the instructions that we provide and giving it its best effort to meet this very small little thing. And in this particular case, in this particular template, we started it off with create one sentence that expresses my enthusiasm for the project, right? Back to what we were saying earlier, subtle psychology on the job description, and how I have worked on similar projects. Now, this one line, this one little AI prompt that we have right inside of there This does a whole bunch of heavy lifting for you, because what it says is, I'm excited about what you're working on. And it turns out I've done work exactly like this. Now, again, if I'm looking at this from the client perspective, I want people who I'm excited to work with, that are excited about what I'm doing, that have expertise, that bring something more to the table, which is why I'm looking for a freelancer in general. So literally one little AI line can create up a very powerful, expression that can make your cover letter stand out.
Sean, if you can express enthusiasm and experience to a client, you immediately move into the top 5% of all proposals without anything else there.
That's right. Because it doesn't start out with, hello there, I'm an experienced graphic designer. Here's a link to my portfolio. Right? It just, that doesn't work. I mean, it just, because everybody is doing that. The other thing what I really like about AI too, and I think we're starting to see more use of emojis out there. Mm-hmm. This emoji use, if done subtly, and I think that's the key, is it does help get attention. And I have noticed that if you have a relevant emoji, sometimes at the very beginning of a cover letter, it stands out. Why? Well, because if everyone's using the hand thing, okay, that's probably the most overused hand thing, or the finger, right? Well, let's find another one. If I'm looking for someone to build me an app for, a workout outfit, then a workout emoji would make sense, right? It's like, oh, they're clever. It seems interesting, because remember, we're trying to stand out. The other thing, and this goes back to that ability to bold things, which I know is a challenge, which is why I built this Upstyler toolbar. This is literally a Unicode toolbar. You'll see that how we have bold right here. And how do we get bold? Well, I just highlight a word and I hit the B key for bold, and it makes it bold. If I want it to be italics, I can hit the I key and make it italics. So that way, even after PouncerAI generates the proposal, you can still come in here and, using this Upstyler toolbar, be able to add additional flair to your particular job so that it stands out. So notice here, I'm thrilled about the opportunity to join your team. Okay. Make that stand out there. Make that bold. As an experienced iOS developer, you're just trying to do subtle little things out there that grab the client's attention, that get them excited about reading whatever it is that you have to share with them. Okay. So that's why. Go ahead,
Sean. I just want to add something here. One thing that might be in people's minds is, well, wait a minute. If you're using an AI tool that is doing this for you, how is that going to show the client that you care, because it's the AI tool doing it? Here's the thing to understand about clients, right? When we're on the topic of empathy, a client is looking to you for a solution, not a process. All right. So if you are, smart enough and forward thinking enough to invest in a tool that is going to help make sure that you get that enthusiasm and excitement in there, that is going to help make sure that it is styled and that you can pay attention to these details, the client doesn't care if it took you 2 minutes to do it or 20 minutes to do it.
That's right.
You got the solution of the good proposal. So, we're still in this kind of strange phase with AI where people are like, should I use it? Should I not? What does this say? Again, think about it from the perspective of a client. They want a solution. Right. The solution you're trying to give them right now is a proposal that speaks to their needs. And so whether you use a tool or not, it doesn't matter. It's all about the final output. And Pouncer just helps you get to that final output in a better, more efficient, more effective way.
And the other thing too is that every cover letter that we have found is going to be different for the types of jobs that you're applying for, which is why we put templates in there and allow you to create up your own templates. Because, for example, if you're looking for a part-time job, you're going to use the part-time template, which is a different approach than a client that says, I have this problem, how would you approach it? Which would be this particular template, which is more of my approach. So where we just showed that, I want enthusiasm about your job because I've worked on something similar to this. This one demonstrates my authority. Okay. In other words, this is a type of template you would use where the client is saying, what would be your approach to this? What are your skills, experience with something like this? So in this case, it's a different approach. And back to your point, yes, we're just having AI take what it knows about us and position it better for clients to understand it. Because what AI really does is it not only simplifies it for us as freelancers, it simplifies it for the client too. right? If it can just get in and get the information that they want, then they're not wasting time reading these laboriously long dissertations when all they want to know is, what is your approach to the project? How would you address my particular problem, right?
Yep.
And this goes back to organization, because there's another psychology about how you present yourself to people. And there's a couple of different approaches. You want to get their attention. We clearly said that. Then you either want to introduce yourself to them, or you want to continue on that thread that here's how I'm going to help you. Here's my questions. Here's what's coming up. So again, even in the crafting of an AI generated cover letter, there are different frameworks. And I know you know a lot about frameworks and writing, right?
Yes.
Different frameworks work for different situations. So I will always say that if you look at a qualified proposal, as either from us or just in general, it's always going to have a couple of these elements. It's always going to begin with a great hook. It's always going to end with a call to action. And in the middle is where you have some discretion. What do you say about yourself to introduce yourself? And what do you ask the client? What is it that you're sharing with the client to start that dialogue conversation? That's the middle stuff, okay?
Yep.
But that's where templates, that's where AI can help, because we're trying to take these frameworks and saying what framework applies to which job and let AI fill in the details so that we can edit it once it's generated. That's what I think, really, at the end of the day, the AI may be the writer, but you're the editor.
Yes.
And, you got to tell that writer what you want done. And then even if they do it, you still better edit it. And that's where things like the F-Style, the toolbar, editing before posting, all of these things are just saving you that time. But always they're going to have a framework, and no one cover letter can work for every situation. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Wow. We covered a lot in this session, Sean.
Yeah.
And in session 3, we're going to talk about some additional profile optimization tips and secrets that can really help you stand out. But let me give you the last word on this, just in terms of proposals here, that, our first session here on proposals. Any final thoughts on what people can do to create proposals that stand out?
Yeah. Create something worth reading. Create something that the client finds valuable. And what finds valuable is, I want to know what makes you different than every other proposal that I'm seeing out there. So hook me with something. And then when I read more, don't disappoint me. And at the end, build your credibility by showing that you respect me enough to answer my questions or to provide additional insights to make you clearly stand out.
Well said. All right. Thank you for joining us here for lesson 2 in the beginner series here as part of the PouncerAI Freelancer Education Series. We'll be back soon with lesson 3. We'll talk to you then.